Good morning.
Hey, there's Austin. I haven't seen you for a while. Stop coming in.
I was visiting my family in Coeur d'Alene for a couple days.
That's right, you were, weren't you? How was your holiday? Good?
It was good. How about yours?
Good, good. Always good. We got Stacy and Brian and Philip and Ryan and Carrie. Woohoo! You guys are going to learn some good stuff today. Hi, Stacy. We'll give just another minute. Has everybody had, you guys are all new. Has everybody had a chance to dive into Command? Yeah? No? Maybe? You guys can put your pictures on. You can have your mute off if you want. So walk through, do it as we go through the class if you can. So multiple screens are always a lot nicer, or maybe have your computer on and do your phone on the Zoom, right? So that you can watch and do at the same time. Or you can come back and watch the video later so that you can, just do it step by step on your own, play it on your phone, and then work on your computer at the same time, right? So we always have these available. Has everybody set their goal? Do you know what your goal is for the year?
I'm here, sorry.
That's all right. We want to. Does everyone have a GPS and a 411? Or are you like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Yes.
A GPS or a 135 and a 411.
Oh, those are smart plans.
No.
I have a 411.
Okay, so the GPS is what you need first, and the GPS is goals, priorities, and strategies.
Oh, okay.
So you have one goal,
Oh.
and you have 3 priorities to achieve that one goal. And under every priority, you have 5 strategies that you're going to do to achieve the priority to achieve the one goal, right? And then you're going to take that goal, and then you're going to take it to a 411, which is 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. Got it? So we're all about breaking it down and making it seem less daunting. Okay? Because we all start out. I mean, I even have, where is it? I think it's buried. 411s and GPSs are really easy to find. They're, sometimes they're easy to find. They're easy to find if you ask Tanya, and Tanya emails them out, or maybe we'll just have Austin add them to our kwppagents.com website. You guys all were on the call yesterday and learned about that, right? Looking, I'm trying to find my GPS and 411.
Love that new website.
All away. Well, there's kwppagents.com is our new agent services website that Austin's created. It's not connected to Google anymore, so everybody should be able to get on there. And we have all our resources. So Austin, there's your to-do, GPS and 411 goals. Put it on there. In the resources section, I think is where it'll end up at. So look at that. Austin threw the link over in the chat section. So your goal, everyone has goals, and goals are different, right? So a lot of agents, especially newer ones, you come in and I'm like, what's your goals? What do you want to achieve this year? And they're like, I want to have 20 transactions. And what does that mean? Like, can you just pull a number out and not know what that actually means? Now, you guys are newer. Brian, you're not newer, but you're new here. So I'm going to call you newer.
Yep.
And Cam, you're just a bonus to learn the technology. You don't know what your average sales price is to be able to figure out what 20 transactions actually means. Some people say, I want to take home 200,000, right? Or 100,000. Well, what does that mean? How many transactions is that? How much, how many listings do you need to get? How many buyers do you need to have? So what the GPS and the 411 and Command do for you is help you break it down. Now, the other thing is, are we all motivated by just a number, right? Not everybody is. You got to tie it to something. So if you tie it to something that you really, really want and it doesn't happen, are you going to be really pissed off at yourself that that didn't happen? Right? So find out one thing that you want to achieve next year, or which is in just a couple days, the start of it, what you want done by the end of the year or sometime during the year, something that you really, really want to happen. Do you want to have a new car, right? Do you want to be able to buy a new car? Do you want to, we all want to go on a vacation. Do you want to go on a vacation, right? Do you want to be able to say next Christmas, I want to go to Hawaii and I want to have so much money to be able to do that? Well, that's profit, right? So everything comes back to money and comes back to the numbers. So we can work that out, but I want you to tie it to something tangible, something that is going to stick in your head and that is going to drive you to get up, to make the calls, to try to get business, to have conversations, whatever it is that you need to do, something that gets you out of bed in the morning. And, maybe it's a down payment for your first place or, whatever it is. So that's your GPS, that's your goal. That's your one thing that you want. You put that out. You stick these GPS, you print it out on paper, you put the GPS on your wall where you're going to see it. You're going to put the numbers inside. Okay, we'll figure out how to break it down to numbers to put into command. And then that's on your dashboard every single day, telling you this is how many calls you need to make. This is how many contacts you need. This is how many appointments you need to have. This is how many closings you need to have for you to reach your goal, to do the one thing that you really want to do. Right? So it's all about drive. And people that have drive, that are constantly making sure they get up, lead generation is the drive for this business, whether you like it or not. Now, lead generation doesn't mean that you have to pick up that phone and just call people you don't know. That's not just lead generation. Lead generation is picking up the phone, sending a text, making a phone call, sending an email, commenting on someone's Facebook, sending a card, wishing somebody a happy birthday, with a little tiny bit of a reminder of who you are, right? So if they know who you are and they know that you do real estate, then when you make those little touches, you're caring, right? And that's, people want to work with people who care about them. If you don't care about them, why should they care about helping you sell a house, right? So, but making sure that you block out time every single day, think business week, okay? It doesn't have to be weekends. You can save that for showing houses and doing open houses, but that's also lead gen, right? An open house is lead gen. So, but Monday through Friday, 1 hour every morning, maybe 2 hours every morning, you guys probably won because you're starting out, right? So 1 hour every single morning, you get up, or in the evening, what's your time, right? Are you a night person? Are you a day person? You want to do it in the middle of the day? You choose the time. It doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, but think about, and there's lots of studies, and that's why you guys are with Keller Williams, because they've done all of the work to figure out when's the best time to do stuff. Get people when they're driving to work, although no one's driving to work now. I am. You can get them in the evening when they're sitting down. You can get them when they're on their way home. I mean, just find the times that work for you to call and to text. And when, in the morning, my time for Facebook, and it's not really I don't lead gen because I don't sell houses like you guys do. I work with, you guys are my lead gen, right? I want to make sure that you guys are good, that you're happy, that everything is going well. So my lead gen time in the morning is at 5:30 to 6:30 when I'm sitting having coffee, and I scroll through my Facebook and I comment and I like, and and so that's it. But, and sometimes at night if I feel like it, but find your time. Make sure you're doing the lead gen. Make sure you're doing that. And then command on your dashboard when you first log into command is your tasks should be number one at the top. And if it's not, you want to click on the customize your homepage and put your task at the top, because that's your to-dos. And you're going to schedule yourself with to-dos. Your to-dos come from your opportunity checklist. You have opportunity to-dos and you have contact to-dos. You're going to get to-dos from setting people up on smart plans, which y'all, if you were there yesterday, $300, who doesn't want that, right? And the reason we're doing this is because number one, you need to make sure you have contacts. And if you don't have contacts, you don't have business. And setting them up on the smart plans is helping leverage your business, helping leverage your lead generation. It's doing so much for you by doing that. So we're teaching you guys how to do it, and then we're just, hey, here's what you get for trying to do it. Well, who else does that? Like, how often do you get that in a job, right? And you guys are your own employers. We're not your employer. We're just like, hey, do this and we'll just right? So make sure that you've got that. And the very next thing underneath that should be goals, hands down. You want your goals right there for you to see. Now, I know some people, I have agents we have successful agents at our office who are just, they see the goals, and it gives them hives. So if you're that kind of a person and that, seeing the numbers that way doesn't work for you, and you want to see the vacation or the car or the house, put it up on your wall, right? Some people are picture people and don't want to see the numbers. So whatever makes you happy, that's going to push you. Because remember, this is you doing this for yourself. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, then don't listen to me. But you guys are here, and you're here for a reason, and that's for us to help push you, right? And to show you how to do it and how to be successful in it. So so make sure you do that, and that you've got those set up. And then are you guys, I want to know, I'm going to go one by one through what I see on my screen here. And I want you to tell me if you know how much money you want to make this year. You don't have to say how much. You can if you want to, but you're all pretty new. So any amount is going to be fantastic, just so you know. Some people are, I lost somebody, scared them. Some people are doing this real estate to be top producers, right? And to be like the Mark Foxes, where they have expansion teams, and that's their goal, to do that. Some people want to do 12 transactions a year. That makes them happy. That gives them enough money to live on, because maybe they have a spouse that makes a good income, and this is just something they want to do. It doesn't matter where you're at in that realm of things. If it's what makes you happy and what you want to do, then I'm going to help you achieve that. All right. So don't be like, well, I only want to do 12 transactions. I'm okay with taking home $70,000. That makes me happy. That's fantastic. And honestly, for a lot of you, for your first year, your goal probably should be around that, right? And especially if you're new here, like Austin and Brian.
What did you say that was? I didn't hear it. My phone was ringing. I just shut it off.
I was like 70,000, right? I mean,
Okay.
Just 12 transactions, one a month, right? Obviously, to start out with, you're going to have a few months where you have none, but then you can double up in a couple months. Remember, whatever you don't achieve this month, and that's one of the things on your 411. So you take the one and you break it all down, and then you look at it monthly, you break it down to weekly, and whatever you don't achieve that first week, you push that over to the second week, and now you have to work harder, right? Same thing. You just keep pushing it forward. You don't just like go, oh well. You just keep pushing it forward, and you try to hit that ceiling that you created. And then always we want to break through that ceiling and go higher. So if you set your ceiling too low, then your productivity is going to come, you're going to scale back and be like, oh, I'll get that. That's no big deal. I can do that. I can skip this week. I can take this day off. And you're going to find that you're never going to hit that ceiling. Now, if you set it up too high, oh, I'm never going to reach it. I'm never going to reach it. I'm never going to reach it. So I'm just not even going to try. Right. So you got to find that happy medium in there. That's an achievable goal, but it's also where you can exceed it. And if you do, that's an added bonus, right? We all like bonuses. So make sure you set it at a reasonable goal, but not too low and then not too high, where it's like, are you kidding me? You are brand new here and you don't have any contacts, and you want to get 50 transactions this year. Yay, you, but you're going to be disappointed. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but let's be honest, right? Brian, you've been here a year.
Yeah, I think 50 transactions is a little out of control.
I mean, at 50 transactions, you guys, that's, I don't know if you know Megan, she's ALC, she's got an assistant, she's got a buyer's agent. and 50 transactions, right? Peter Clark, when I was on their team, well, we had more than that, but we had a couple buyer's agents, we had me, we had another assistant marketing, Peter and Alex were both tag teaming listings, and we were 80 transactions. So does that tell you how unrealistic 50 as a single agent, brand spanking new to the business, how ridiculous that is, right?
That's generally, don't you think, Tanya, too, that's to hit that kind of number, that's generally a team.
It's absolutely, yeah, it definitely admin. And if you're not sure or whatever, I have it at home. There's a book called the MREA that gives you where you should be at and how many transactions, and it's all about leverage, right? Typically, like even when I was selling 30 transactions in 1 year, that was like that borderline, I can't do all this by myself. Like all the paperwork, all of the showings, all the listings, everything. It's overwhelming. You're never sleeping. You're never not working. And so you've got to find that happy medium where you're comfortable doing what you're doing. And typically that's around 20, 25 for a single agent without an admin or a transaction person, right? And it doesn't mean you have to hire someone. And as an employee, you've got Erica, who does transaction review, or not review, but transaction paperwork and stuff for you, who you pay per transaction. And then that's a whole nother conversation, right? Like if you're not a paper person and you just want to show the houses and open the doors, then you hire her immediately and you have her take care of all your paperwork. Now you still write all the offers and everything, but she makes sure that you didn't miss anything. She sends it to title, to the lender, for everything else. And it's a small fee that gets paid at closing. Like you don't pay her until it closes, right? So, and then that comes into play when we go look at the goals and setting your goals and where that expense goes, right? She's actually cost of sales. But so you're just finding out where you guys are at. So Austin, I'm gonna put you right on the spot. Do you know what you want to make this year? Are you ready to fill out your goals?
Yeah, I actually just did that with a business coach not too long ago, and I would say it's more in the realistic realm, like you were talking about, around like the 12 to 14 or so for the first year.
Awesome. And you know what that number is? Like from what the commission, because that's how we do it in Command. You kind of got to work backwards a little bit. You got to know 12 transactions. How much money does that mean? Like, do you know what you want to bring home in the net?
Yes, I do have that all on the sheet. I just don't know.
I know we've worked on the goal sheets before. And Stacy, do you know what you want to bring home this year?
Yes, I am newly divorced and I want to keep my house.
That's a good goal.
So it might be a little bit more lofty. And I've been in real estate before. I used to sell apartment complexes. So mine might be a little bit more, but yes, I just need to break it down into the number of transactions and work back from that with Chantel.
Well, what actually in Command will do that for you. So all we really need to know today, you guys, how much money do you want to bring home? Sorry, my camera is off because I got a new setup here. How much money do you want to bring home after expenses and cost of sales, but before the taxes, right? Okay. And we're going to plug that into Command. And then the next thing that you want to know is what is your average commission on a listing and average commission on a buyer? Because we all know that buyer commission is usually around that 2.5%, right? And then the listing commission is typically around the 3. It should be 3.5. I'm just saying right there. You guys provide tons of value. You're going to be giving them lots of value. So go for that 6%, 2.5 to the buyer agent, 3.5% to the listing. And remember, you have more expenses when you're listing a house too. And if you're in competition and you got to lower it a little bit, which even the best of them have to do it, go to 3, right? 2.5 and 2.5 is not necessary, because then it comes down to, well, what are you getting from them? And then what are you getting from me? And what makes it better, right? And if you don't know that, you're all in Chantel's program. So I'm sure she has a list for you of everything that you're doing. So you need to know what those are, and then what percentage of your business is listings and buyers. Now you're all brand new, so you're probably going to have a higher buyer percentage than listing percentage, but your end goal is to always end up at least 50-50 between the two. So maybe to start out with, you guys do 75-25, with 25% being listings. and especially with the very low market of listings that we have right now as well, right? And if you don't want to do listings at all and you'd rather just refer that to an agent here, then we'll figure that into referrals and your cost of sales. Because maybe you're just a buyer's agent and that's all you want to be, right? So those are the numbers that we have to plug into Command. So Philip, are you ready? Do you know what you want to put in your numbers?
Yes. So my idea was the 12 transactions with $70,000 a year. That's my goal.
So did you figure out how much commission that is per transaction, and does that seem reasonable?
I haven't figured that out yet, but for the math that me and Chantel like loosely did, it seems pretty reasonable, but I don't know how exactly that works in Command.
Yeah, so let's do that. So you want $70,000 take home, or is that before or after expenses?
That's after. Yeah, after expenses.
After expenses. Okay, well let's figure before, because when we have to do the cost. So divide that out by 12 transactions. So you're saying your average commission is going to be $5,800. And if we're doing it after, if we're doing that as the net, I would say around that. So our market center average commission, because we have a lot of agents that have the high end homes just based off of our area, right? So our average commission in our office has been really high. It's been bouncing between like 525 and 580 for the sales price. And so the commission has been, let's see, 570 times our average commission is 2.5%, $14,000 average gross commission. Okay, that's really high. Now, newer agents, typically you guys don't end up with those $1 million properties right off the bat. If you do, fantastic. It has been known to happen. I mean, it all is based on where you guys are marketing and where you're going and what you're doing. Pardon me, my nose is running from allergies. So find a happy medium. Let's say your guys' average commission is going to be $10,000, right? Because that was 2.5% off of our average sales price, which is $570. So even if you did $10,000 commission for all of you times 12 transactions a year, that's $120,000 gross commission. And then we're going to go in and we're going to figure out the cost of sales and your expenses that you're going to have. And you don't know what your expenses are going to be. We'll do an average, right? Like just a guesstimate. If you're over, you're over. If you're under, you're under, right? You'll know better next year on what you need to do. I guarantee you won't be over because we're going to set them a little bit high. So next one, Brian, do you know what you're going to do?
$2 million. No, I'm kidding.
Sweet. He's $1 million real estate agent.
I'm kidding.
Those are already plugged in.
I'm kidding. I think, you just basically use the number you just were talking about it that I've set, which is 120,000.
Awesome.
So, I mean, I'm kind of a weird anomaly because I work in 2 markets.
Mm-hmm.
And one market is like stupid expensive, and the other market is here in Oregon, which is
not quite as stupid as expensive.
What's that?
Not quite as stupid expensive.
Not quite as stupid.
It's getting there, but not quite.
yeah, exactly. So I'm going to say 120K as well.
Okay, awesome. And Ryan?
That's me.
Yep. You got yours figured out? Do you know what you want to make this year?
I do have a pretty good idea. I will also work with a business planning coach and also planning to work in the Washington market as well, up in Seattle, where I've got a lot of contacts up there and
Awesome.
Prices are a little higher. So
are you actually going to go up there and work, Ryan, or are you going to send referrals?
It kind of depends. So I've got friends up there who are going to want to list and everything. So I'll be going up there as well too.
Okay. And so you'll need to kind of figure out how many referrals you might have for that, because that's got to go in our cost of sales. Okay. We'll go over that in a minute. I'll share screen in a minute. Hey, Cam, your number better be high, bud. You're my ALC. Are you there?
Cam.
You got your numbers?
Hello, Cam.
I know, right? Cameron. We know he's got numbers. He's commercial, you guys. So he's a whole nother thing there. All right, Cameron, I know you got your numbers. You're here. Well, where's your volume? Well, try logging out and coming back in. There you go. See, he's also our chairperson for our tech committee. I know, isn't that funny? So he also joins our calls and stuff to learn more about. He doesn't use command as much in the same way as we do as residential, because again, commercial is a whole nother thing. So, hey Cam, are you there now?
Hey, yep, can you hear
There
me?
he is. You got your goals
Yes.
figured out?
I do have my goals figured out.
Sweet.
Excited for
Tracy.
2021.
And so I'll show you how to plug him in. It's going to be big, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
And you called out a good point. I mean, mine is going to be a little bit different. The numbers of transactions are going to be different. And I'm even more different than a traditional commercial agent because I have an advisory portion of my business because I do development and investment as well. So it's a little bit skewed, but that's something I wanted to work with you on.
Plug in your stuff there too. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And Tracy, how about you, honey?
Hey, sorry I had to unmute there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to. The way I look at the sales numbers that I've sort of figured out for myself is whatever the sale price is, I assume that after all my expenses and taxes and fees and everything else that I'm putting in my pocket free and clear about 1%. And maybe that's a little under, maybe I'd make more than that, but that extra I'm just going to put as bonus for slower times or what have you.
Yeah.
So if to me, that's an easy way to look at it. So I'd like to make, at least 60,000 in my pocket this year. Maybe, 100 would be lovely. So somewhere in that range.
Think about how much you want to bring home before the IRS and the state take all your money. Okay. Because that's the number you're going to have to plug into command.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to take all our money, right?
Yeah. I mean, just starting out, I want to have high goals, but like you said, achievable.
Achievable. Yeah. You don't want to, right?
Yeah. If I had 50 in my pocket free and clear after everything, that'd be awesome. So
there you go. 60. And then you guys, in case you don't know, get a CPA, have one for your first year. I mean, my first year, people told me, oh, don't worry, you're not going to make that much money. You don't need to worry about doing anything, and looking, and then guess what? I had 25 transactions in my first year, and I got hit hard with taxes. And what I wasn't told was self-employment tax and paying for Social Security and all that. So you're actually going to pay higher than what you would as normal in tax brackets, right? So don't forget that. Make sure you always take 35 to 40% of every commission check you get and put it in the bank for your taxes. And then after your first year, then you'll have your quarterlies that you're going to want to pay just to stay ahead of the game, guys, right? So, all right, are you guys ready to go into command?
Yep.
All right, I don't even think I have one open. Hold on. New computer setup, trying to figure out where I'm at and what I'm doing. And
Tanya, did you say you're recording this so we can look at it later in case we miss something?
It is always recorded so you can go back step by step and do it on your own.
Beautiful.
Okay, now we'll go back to command or to Zoom and where'd it go? Oh, it's the screen. That's why. Huh. Okay. In command. Let me drag you guys and put you over here. I have 3 screens now. Holy moly, it's like a whole driving the ship again. Okay, this is what you want to see. And of course, every time you come in, I set my goals and this stays here no matter what. But we're going to end up hitting the set my goals so we can go in and set it. First time here, hit the guided tour, get an idea of what to do, customize your home page. I like mine this way. And all of you, I want you to have your task up here at the top and then your goals next. Up here are going to be leads, that recent leads you can see the last time. These are all my family and friends that I forced to download the app so that I could see how it works and make them do stuff. So my days are like really out. I really should probably make them do something again, huh? But you'll see your contacts and your leads. Now these are leads that have come in from your app or your website. You'll see the little checkbox in the circle. That's how they're connected to you. So you'll know that they're there. The ones that don't have that, this is one I've entered in, and this is one that I've entered in. But I've also connected it to the KW app and the site, so you guys know that they're connected to you. The next thing that I always have is the product updates, because I want to know what's happening, and so I can teach you guys. I haven't looked at this for, oh, well, look, a couple weeks ago before Christmas. So usually every Tuesday is an update, although it appears that KWRI has taken the last 2 weeks off as far as new updates and new things happening. They are working on bugs and stuff still. So you can change something. Maybe you want to put the new designs up there so that you can see when there's a new design. You can throw out a Facebook post or Instagram or whatever. And then you have the playbook. And over here, you have your new leads to claim. This is going to look different. I think we created a team account for us so that I can play in it and we can see how that works. So you probably won't see this lead pool. Do you guys see the lead pool as single agents? Or no? No. Okay, so you won't see that, but you probably still see new leads. So these are, maybe this is the one. No, because I don't think this goes into a square.
No.
I don't think that one can be a square. No. Here's all your options that you have, right? You can put the notepad up here, and if you want to make notes to yourself, and you can choose what you want to see. I say just have them all on there, but you don't have to scroll down to see them, right? But you want your tasks and your goals up front and center so that you can see what you're doing and you can track your business and know where you're at and what you got to do to get that business. All right, let's go set our goals. And this is really fast. Get started down at the bottom. Most of you have to scroll down if you're not on a big honking screen like I am. It will automatically revert to the $1 million real estate agent. So this is $1 million profit prior to the IRS and the state. And so this is how much GCI they have to make. This is the MREA model, 40% profit. Now, whether you're a millionaire real estate agent or not, you need to stick to the 40-30-30. Which means the 40, if you go over 40% profit, wahoo, right? But don't go over 30% for cost of sales and don't go over 30% for operating expenses. Because what happens is, what if you set your cost of sales at 30% and you set your operating expenses? This is going to be market. Cost of sales is anything that comes out of a commission. So if you only pay it if you get a commission. Does that make sense? Operating expenses are expenses that you have no matter what. If you're making money or not making money, you're paying that bill. Okay. So let's say that you decide to bump this up and now you're at 40% expenses. And because you want to pay for some new lead generation or whatever it is that you decide you need to have. And then, oh no, we get, or oh yay, we get referrals in that, or we have more transactions that end up going over our 30% in cost of sales, right? So we're paying more money out to a transaction coordinator, or now we're paying more money out to referral because we didn't account those in our cost of sales. So now we're 40% operating expenses and 40% cost of sales because we've gone over. What does that do to our profit?
Shrinks it down.
It shrinks it down. And now you're at 20% annual profit. Do we want less money coming in?
No.
At the bottom? We don't. So in order to make sure that you keep that, it's okay to be under 30% on the cost of sales and under 30% on the operating expenses, but don't ever take, well, I'm going to do 40% cost of sales and 20% operating expenses because they balance out. Don't do that, because I guarantee you at some point you're going to go over on one of them and then you're going to lose your profit. And that's the last thing we want to do is lose our profit. Okay. So everything in Command is typically, if you're working on entering information, this is your preview panel, and your enter panel is the little tiny one on the right. So the very first thing that you need to know and you need to put in is, what is your annual profit that you want to bring home? So we kind of discussed maybe, let's do 120,000, right? Let's see what this does. So obviously, if I'm bringing home 120, my expenses and my cost of sales are not going to be that high, right? This again, if you're going to be a millionaire real estate agent, you're going to have a massive team, not just a couple people. So your expenses, if you move your mouse over the little I, it tells you what it is. So if you have salaries, if you have lead generation that you're paying for, your education for your real estate license, your license fees, your car, your oil change, your phone, everything that you would do in order to run your business is what you're going to put into there. So with brand new agents, we've kind of found that maybe a generous number would be about 12,000. Okay. So let's do that. And then our cost of sales, this is going to be what you're paying to the market center, paying to KWRI. If you choose to pay for that transaction coordinator, we kind of are figuring out maybe this is going to be around 12 transactions. So if I'm looking at 12 transactions, and I know that Erica's fee doesn't go over $500, and her buyer fee is lower than the listing fee, and if I have both sides, it's just a little bit higher, but it's never going to go over 500. So maybe we take the 425 and figure 12 transactions, that's 5,100 a year that I'm going to pay, which is still a heck of a lot less than hiring an employee, right? Because I have employee taxes and you have salary and everything else. So sometimes to start out with, it makes more sense to have a virtual assistant, although she's in person. She is a person who can work out of the office. She just works out of her home. So let's say the 5,100, and let's add in what you pay total to KW and KWRI and KWPP is going to be the 21,000. And then referrals. So if you're going to have referral business, yeah, Brian?
Did you say 2,100 or 21,000?
21,000.
Okay.
It was 5,100 for a transaction coordinator.
Oh, okay.
And remember, if you're not going to use that, you're going to do it all yourself, then take that out, right? So you just got to figure out your numbers. So you got that. And then you also have referrals. And if you don't know if you're going to have any referrals, but you may or may not, maybe one or two, pad that in there, right? So we're at 26.1. And if we do referrals, so say you get a buyer referral or a listing referral, and let's do, we figured 10,000 was our commission, right? So 10,000, and this is really easy actually, and 2.5% or 25% of that is $250 referral fee. That's not bad, right? I want more commission than that. Oh, sorry, I had my number still in the right point. It's more than that, it's 2,500. 25%. It's 2,500. I was thinking that was really, really low. Okay, so 2,500 plus the 26.5, right? So my total that I'm gonna enter in is 29,000 into my cost of sales. Let's see what happens to that. Or 29,000. Okay. So now here, look at my profit. Woohoo! Right? Expenses, cost of sales. If you know your expenses are going to be higher than that, you're going to pay more than that. You know, if you're doing right now for the next 2 months, we're offering, you do a $25 Facebook ad once a week, and we're going to reimburse it. So that's free. lead generation. So that doesn't count. But maybe you want to bump it up and do a little bit more and do $50. And so for 2 months, you're going to have $25. 4 weeks, we're just going to average it out times 2, so $200. And then the remainder of the months, we do $50 a week times 4 times 10 months, 2,000. So let's figure about $2,500 in fees. So if take that away from that, less than $10,000. I mean, you guys, I honestly don't think you're going to have that much in expenses, right? So this is a really good setup for you guys. We got to change this too. Change it to 10. And CAM leases are in there for commercial. So if you know what your commercial leases are and what percentage of your business is that, then we can put that in there too. And that'll help figure out. So now, in order for us to take home 120,000, we need to have GCI at 161. Now, if you're not sure if that is doable for you guys or not, what we can do is we can go through and then see how many transactions it actually ends up being, and then we can adjust it, right? So, but if we're looking at 10,000 in commission, and that would be 12 transactions, right? But it's going to bump it up because you have expenses and everything else to pay as well. So you're going to go to next, and then you're going to look at your conversion rates. Your conversion rates, this is what they recommend from the MREA on what the average is. Now, if you actually know what your conversion rates are from leads to contacts, from contacts to appointments, and appointments to appointments kept, and agreements to pending to close, some people, like maybe Cam, knows that once it's pending, 90% of them close. So he might change that over here on the right? But if you don't know what that is yet, then I would highly recommend that you keep it the way it is. Now, remember, leads are people who have shown an interest, but you haven't had a two-way conversation with them. So think of it this way: you do an open house, and you have 10 people come in, and only one person gives you their contact information. You've converted that lead to a contact, right? So 10, and you only get one. There's your conversion rate, right? Same thing if you're planning on doing a lot of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Google ads to try to get leads, then your lead to contact conversion rate definitely needs to be 5%, because we know out of about probably every 100 lead that you get, one might be a good one, right? I don't want to say a good one, because every lead that you actually have real phone number and real email is a valid lead. It's just a matter of where they are in the lead time, in the purchasing timeline, right? On whether they're a good lead now or a good lead later. Okay, don't think of every lead as a bad lead. Because if you have someone, Brian, let's say you just closed on a house yesterday, they aren't going to buy another home for 3 to 7 years.
Right.
Are you never going to contact them until that 3 to 7 years when they're ready to buy another home?
No.
You're going to keep talking to them day one, right?
Yeah.
After closing. So think of that. They're always a good lead. It's just where are they on the timeline? Plus,
Right.
they could refer someone to you, right? So always want to make sure that you're staying in touch, talking to people, letting them know you're a realtor, in a nice way, quiet way, right? Everyone always asks, what are you doing? How have you been, right? Bring in some kind of a conversation about real estate. Simple and easy. Oh my gosh, I was showing this house yesterday. Make up a story. You should have seen the kitchen. just something. And then they're like, oh, I didn't know you're a realtor, or, oh, how's that going? Right. So then they start the conversation, and then that's how you move it into helping them, talking to them about rates, talking about, have you refied, their mother, their sister, whatever it is, at least, and you don't even have to drive it that far, right? Let them kind of lead it, and then you just feed little tidbits into it, so it's not so aggressive, right? If you flat out go, hey, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell? No, I don't. And it's a shutdown. So don't do that. But so that's your lead to contacts. So best for most of you, leave this the way it is, and it's going to give you really crazy number, and you're going to like freak out over how many leads you need, but it's doable. So then hit save and continue. And then this is just kind of a brief overview, and then we're just going to hit the little white X up at the top, and then it's going to take us to our goal page. So this was not this year's, this is last year's. So I'm going to switch this to 2021, and this is my goal. I have to have 16 closings to take home 120,000. So if that's too much, you guys want to back it down, maybe we go back and we change it to 100, right? You guys can edit it anytime. So let's come back in here and let's change this. And let's go down to 100,000 take home. Oops, 700,000. 100,000 take home, and leave everything else the same. And now let's see what happens. Switch it to next year. Changed it by 1. You can adjust it to where it makes you happy, right? But make sure you're not changing your volume, your net profit too much to where it makes you uncomfortable, right? So do you guys still want me to keep figuring out where we're, unless someone's a math wizard and can tell me exactly what number I need to enter in there? I'm thinking maybe 80,000. Cam, you're my math wizard. No, I'm actually thinking 70. And then maybe this also tells you guys, ooh, I need to change my numbers. Can't leave off 70. I need more than that.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And a lot
of
of
maybe you need a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. Okay. Sorry. Okay, that brought me, I took it to 70, it brought me to 11 transactions. I bet I can bump that up to 75 take home, and that'll be easier to adjust, right? We're just playing here. I knew I could get someone to laugh on that one. Next, and if you're math, figure it all out ahead of time and then plug in your number.
And I put in 80,000 and it got me 12 transactions.
80,000 did?
Yeah.
75 did for me based off of, I did the transaction reviewer in there, remember? Gotcha. So, and remember that too, right? So if you're not doing that, then, you know, I mean, it's just based on what you want to do and where your expenses are at and your cost of sales. So, so there you go. If you guys want to take home 75,000 or you only want to do 12 transactions, this is what you need to do. Now, does that 14,665 leads scare the hell out of all of you?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, watch this. Now I'm gonna change this to the month. I don't think it changed.
No.
Oh wait, no, it didn't change. It didn't change, right?
No.
Oh, it changed like by 2. Did it go up? 649.
It went down.
Really? Okay. But remember, leads is anybody that comes in new. Now, how many of you have taken your phone and uploaded all your contacts into Command? Nobody.
Me,
right?
me.
So Cam did. Of course you did, Cam. I saw how many you had. I was checking our ALC to make sure you guys
I have
it.
to.
Ryan, you did too. Okay, so they're in your phone. This is a contact. This is a lead. It's someone you know, right? Now, just because you put them in Command, does that mean you have to talk to them about real estate? No, it does not. Does it mean that you can put them on a smart plan? Absolutely. Tell me someone, and if it's family or friends, play with them. Hey, to start my real estate career, we've got this awesome app. I'm going to set you up on this monthly neighborhood nurture. It's going to show you what the market's like. Tell me what you think. Download my app, check out my website, log in, play with it, have fun. I'm not going to market you. I'm not going to send anything else to you. Or I am, right? I'll send you my monthly newsletter. You don't have to tell them that, right? Just start them out with a monthly neighborhood nurture and let them play with it. Let them, say, hey, it's even when you download the app, it says it's.
Hey, Tanya, we still get PieSync, right? One
Yep,
account for PieSync.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a game changer for me because I was trying to figure out how to manage contacts because I use my iPhone and a lot of the internal Apple functions and apps to manage my daily conversations and notes. And
And it goes
that
right
was my
in.
biggest. And then once I did PieSync, it's been so easy to go back and forth because now my assistant updates my contacts and descriptions and everything in Command, and it updates on my
To your
phone,
phone.
on my iPhone, because it goes back and forth.
Syncing. How
Yeah,
cool is
so
that?
it's very worth it. Yeah.
And
Yep.
we get PieSync is inside Command. How
Well,
we
sort
link
of.
our phone, all our contacts in here.
You have to choose what you want to do. So the first thing you have to do is go into your settings, and you guys go to answers.kw.com for any questions on how to do stuff. Especially if it's after hours or weekend, do that, and you can go get your answer, whatever you need answered immediately.
Answers at
answers.kw.com. That's where you can straight out search for something, but you also have on your agent, kwppagents.com, resources, Command Your Business. Command Your Business is quick little walkthrough of Command in every aspect that you need to do business as a real estate agent. But if you go to your settings, you want to make sure your apps are connected. And in here is PieSync right here. So you can connect your account. And I don't know why mine's not connected anymore. And when you connect it, I think it opens up to PieSync. So it tells you right here, you've got the ability to do this. There's a user agreement. It's free for one service, okay? You can do more than one if you want. If you have multiple places you keep people, but you're going to pay for the others. So then you would just scroll.
And when you say one service, you mean like my cell phone is uploading my contacts from here is one service?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I chose to do the Apple Cloud service, which syncs my contacts for my iPhone with KW Command.
And if you're a Google, if you're an Android,
you could do Android.
Choose Google, right? It would depend on where you
course.
save your contacts. Do you save them in the Samsung? Do you save them in Google? Because if you save them in Google, then I would choose Google Contacts. And then so anytime you email, anything that goes into Google Contacts is going to go directly into Command. And anytime you put someone in Command, it's going to show up in your Google Contacts.
It also works with Microsoft Exchange and all these, which is great.
All of this stuff. I mean, there's so many, and they're adding more and more and more and more. So whatever.
When you set it up the first time, if you have any questions, I would ask myself or ask Tanya, because the first time I did it was early on. I don't know if any of the bugs still exist on it, but I forget, there was one checkbox that I was confused about that had to do with duplicating contacts. And at first when I signed up, I had a couple duplicate contacts appear. Yeah. And it's pretty quickly worked itself out, and I haven't seen a duplicate contact in probably 4 or 5 months now, but that was something that existed. So if you do have any questions, just shoot over. You can ask me or
Who's that speaking?
It's Cameron.
It's Cameron.
It's Tracy.
Cameron is our
talk with you since I'm on iPhone as well and Apple.
Yeah,
oh, great. Yeah.
I'm Droid, guys. So if you're Apple, don't ask me.
No, I'm an Android.
You're an Android. Yeah, so when you come in through here, so this is connected with KW, so it's automatically choosing KW, and then you choose what you want to connect to, and then it'll sync everything back and forth.
Hey, Tanya?
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? This may sound like a dumb question, but what is the actual point of PieSync? I mean, it sounds like I have contacts in my database in Command that I had a gigantic not a spreadsheet, but like a, what do you call it? CVS or CSV or
Yeah,
whatever.
CSV file. Mhm.
So I imported that, and then I also have contacts on my phone. So is the point of PieSync to do what? Just to do a one-time transfer of all
No,
of your
it's
contacts,
constant.
or?
It's a consistent, always transferring. So in
That's
your app-
what's unique about it, Brian, is that
Yeah.
it does it over time. You
Yeah.
can transfer one time for free using a bunch of different methods.
I
But
see.
the reason why it was important for me is that I'm always, if I'm on the road and adding a contact on the go, or I get off a phone call and I have a new client and I want to add them into my phone book, I want it to go into KW Command, and it
But
then
you
it
don't want it
syncs within
stopped.
30 seconds so that I
Yeah.
can call my assistant and say, hey, I just uploaded this contact. Can you set them up on a smart plan
I
for
see.
X neighborhood?
Okay, got it.
Although, yeah, and so that's it. It's that constant. So you don't have to stop and go, oh, I got to put them in command, right? Or oh, I put them in command, but I want them on
Okay.
my phone.
That's great. Okay, awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And this is one example, Brian, of many. I mean, I chose this one because it was the most value to me, but PieSync, I mean, there are probably within our office 12 to 20 different variations of how people use it, whether or not it's for your contacts
Yeah.
or what have you.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
good. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you,
Yep.
Kim.
So going on goals and tracking, right? I want to finish out with, oh, wow, we really took this a long class. When you are creating an opportunity, or when you want to track your business and you want to track it from day one, right? We want to know when they come in as a lead and how long it takes for them to become a contact, how long it takes for them to schedule an appointment, how long, how many you keep, how many you don't keep, right? It's all about tracking your business and where you can be better, right? And what different things you can do to make your business more successful to end up with more of these leads as actual closings, right? So in order to do that, it's all about the opportunity and utilizing the opportunity correctly. So mine are fake ones. I'm just going to go into one of them. So the minute you actually know a contact is going to buy or sell or lease in the next 12 months, I'm going to create an opportunity on them right away. And once you create the opportunity, then you want to click into it and you want to go in it and you want to edit, and you want to edit the general information. And you're going to come in and edit this general information a couple times. Okay, so get used to doing this. The very most important thing is putting in these dates. All right. So when you first create the opportunity, it's going to ask some of these base questions like, what's the time frame? What's the price? What's the commission? And you're going to enter that in, and then you're going to come back in, and then you're going to go, okay, appointment scheduled. So let's say I actually talked to him today. So now I got to go way out. Last time I used my husband for a class. I talked to him today and I scheduled the appointment for next week. Click, 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 click. Next week on Monday. That's what these are. Okay. Appointment scheduled, the day you scheduled the appointment and the date that the appointment is for. And then on Monday, he says, I need to think about it. I don't know why he'd want to think about it, right? Who wouldn't want to use me? And then on Tuesday, he signed the agreement. Or he said, yes, I want you to help me buy a house, right? Or he signed the buyer broker agreement. So agreement one is sign the listing, or they signed a buyer broker agreement. If you're not using a signed buyer broker agreement, which you should be using, then they said, yes, I want to work with you. The contract date is the date you go pending. Okay. So let's say we go pending on this home. This is the top result. I did not call Google, but apparently I did. We go pending on the home because it's a fantastic house on the 22nd. Then the close date of the actual closing, you need to come in and you need to put this date in here. If you don't put this date in here, we're going to run into like we did last year, where people had closings in December, but they didn't put a date in here And so that's showing up in this year's opportunity commission. So when we're going and looking at their goals, they're like, but these ones closed last year. Well, they didn't put the date in. And if they didn't put the date in, it automatically adds a date in later. So we're going to put the date in that this one's going to close on February 26th. Okay. Estimated close date goes here. Actual close date goes down here. All right. So you want to make sure that you put these in here correctly so that all of your conversion rates come in. This is all of that information that we end up seeing in goals. Goals is the little graph bar on the side. If you don't know what it is, you can hover your mouse or you can click on the KW up at the top and it opens up this little thing so you can see what they are until you get used to the icons. But when you come over here to this, your dashboard, this is going to show you the stuff that you have. So you go to reports, here's your opportunities report, and this shows you the average days of where it sets in each of these opportunities. And so you start at cultivating, you're working with them, they do an appointment, we drag and drop them into appointments, or we open up the opportunity, we enter the dates of the appointments, we change the phase on them. And as long as you're doing all of those things, that's going to help you with tracking your business and then gives you a good idea. Also, remember the 12-month period that we're looking at. So when you go to opportunities and you scroll down here to the bottom, you've got a good idea of where your business is at, right? This is going to be what's in your pipeline right now. Everything that you have from cultivating to closed in all three of these categories. And most of you will not be using leases. And then it also is going to show your potential and probable income over here. And those are based off of where they're at in the phase. And like right here, if it's an active listing, 90% of them are going to close. And I set these. You can change these. You can edit it, right? In buyers, it's going to be a little bit different because if you have an active buyer looking for houses, they might not go pending, right? Sometimes they drop off because they can't ever find anything. They might come back in a year or a couple months. So if they're searching for a house, 50% likelihood that they're going to become money in my pocket. Once I'm showing them a house, 70% of them are going to end up becoming a closing. Once we're in negotiations, I now know 80% of the time, those are going to close. Legacy, if you have that there, that's just based off of our old when we switch from one system to another. So you can edit those, and if you don't want that, you can delete it. So, and he should.
Hey, Tanya, I know we're out of time.
Yeah.
I know I see that Brian has to drop, but I had a question on this. If
can't see that.
You don't mind me asking. So the way that I compare what you're showing here to what we were looking at earlier, that shows the number of leads in the thousands that would be required just to get to contacts that could be in the thousands.
Mm-hmm.
That to me would translate to, if you're looking, well, going back to where you're at, that would translate to probably hundreds of opportunities that are in the cultivate stage.
Yeah.
So if you're adding hundreds of opportunities in there, how do you manage those? Like if this is I'm trying to think about myself in the day-to-day managing those.
Yeah.
Can you show me what that?
Absolutely.
Like how you would look at that? Because when I go to this, what you're showing right here,
yeah.
I have to go
your
between.
People are, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got hopefully you're going to have a lot of people in cultivating, right? Because we're always working with everybody, and until we get them to we've had a two-way conversation. They could be working with the lender, they could be further out, whatever it is. So your cultivate's probably going to be the highest, and then your appointments, and then your active, and then your contracts, and then your pending. So, and Cam, yes, you're going to have so many in here, hopefully, that how do I keep track of it? Well, it's called Smart Plans, and it's called Checklist. So when you're in here, see how I have checklists? Let's drag him and let's put him all the way back over here to cultivate. Now my checklists that I have are, I had Austin grab this sheet that we had from an agent in another country. It seems like another country. And had him go enter in checklist items for me. We have a better checklist now and Austin's uploaded that. But in your checklist, this is giving you tasks and to-dos for your client. So now that I've got him in Cultivate, I'm going to go, well, and then you can set dates. So you come in, you move them into this section and you go, okay, I need to follow up with this and I'm going to put a due date on that. I need to check in with them tomorrow. So you're going to do that, right? And I'm going to say, okay. And then,
that's going to show up as a task at the top then, since you
Yep.
set a date for it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You have to put dates in order for them to show up in your task. Now, when you click on
So that's
task,
critical, is having some sort of date associated with the opportunity, or else it's going to
Yes.
get lost.
Yep.
You'll never be able to find. Okay.
When you're going to do your lead gen, you're going to come in, you're going to open up tasks and you're going to see everything. So I can change this. I want to look at what I have in the next 7 days, but I want to go to my opportunities, right? Because look at this.
Oh, does this work now? The opportunity task versus
yeah, it
content
has.
task?
Yeah.
Oh,
And so I
great.
want to look forward and see, okay, tomorrow, I want to take tomorrow off because it's New Year's Eve. And so I'm going to make this call today instead, right? So this is your to-do. This is your lead gen. You go
Wow.
in, you create all your opportunity checklists. And I know you guys probably saw in there. Let me go over to it real quick. When you're in an opportunity and you have the checklist, and let's move this one over to here. It has client update. Your client, if you want them to get an email every morning at a certain time that says all of these things were done with you, which most likely those are going to happen when you're looking for homes for them, definitely when you're pending, and definitely when you're closed, right? I'm going to send them this or whatever it is. You're going to check those boxes. And when you check that box, you're going to choose, and I'm going to go show you the email, edit stages, client updates, little gear. So this is the email. I choose what time I want them to go out. Let me go this one. I choose what time I want them to receive an email, who it's coming from. I can't choose that in this one. It'll have you, okay? And who's going to get it? Is the client and the co-client? So if there's a husband and wife, they're both going to get it. Or do I just want the primary person to get it? And you can also, if you want to see every single one, maybe if you're on a team and you've got an assistant, you want to see what's going, making sure that they're doing their stuff. That's a good way to do that. Right now it says defaults. I've heard from our regional tech trainer that this is going to end up being where you can customize a template for it, but this is what they see. Basically just a quick little task checklist. Here's your address. Here's the stuff that's been done. And then it always ends this way. Pretty cool, right? So then it's up to you while you're in the actual opportunity to check that box, and you can set which ones you want them to see. So if I'm in active, I'm going to go edit my stages. And when I come into the pre-staging, oops, wrong one, sorry, close that. If I come in here, I can choose which ones I let my clients see. Because we're all going to have checklist items that we don't want them to see that we're doing, right? Reach out to the client to see how they're doing. They don't need to see that one, right? But this you can have as many checklist items as you want. And remember, it's all about you staying in touch with your database and doing what you want to do. Now, the other part of that is smart plans. Setting them up on a smart plan is also going to show you tasks that you have to do. And that's going to be our class in 2 weeks, is smart plans. But if you set someone up on a smart plan, then they're going to show, and you have things for you to do, like make a phone call, send a text, send an email. You can have the email go automatic. You can make yourself send an email, you know, if you want to write something special or do something different. Then those are going to be the items. I wanted to go here, sorry. Those are the things that you're going to see in your tasks. Okay. And you can change this to where you see, I got onboarding because I'm leadership. But you can see all of your tasks here, and you can work here, or you can go into tasks and work on them there. You just hit 2 classes in one. But do you see how Command is like all interconnected, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't know a lot of that stuff.
You can use a little bit, you can use a lot of it. If it's too overwhelming, just start with one little thing, right? Find something that's simple and easy. The number one thing that you all should do is go to the KWPP agent page, go look at that checklist that Austin put in there. And if you don't know what items that you should be doing, enter them in, have Chantel relook at it with you and see if there's anything you should change. Do that now, because when you get busy, you're going to put it off. You're going to put it off. I'm too busy. I can't do it. I can't do it. But then you're going to wish, oh, I wish I had a checklist, right? So do it ahead of time. Get it in now. Be ready. Be prepared. That's what the beginning of the year and the end of the year is all about. Prepping yourself and being ready so that you can dig in with your real estate business and start getting clients and showing houses and not wasting your time doing everything inside of Command and everywhere else. Cool. How many did I lose? No.
You said you had a checklist of all the items that you put in for each one of those.
Yeah, check this out.
Where do I
Share
find
screen. Let's go to, give me a window. KWPPagents.com. I can't type today. Oh, I missed the S. It went after. Is anyone else's fingers faster than your brain? Okay, this is your new agent page. This is where you can see all our classes, the links, blah, blah, blah. Resources, opportunity checklist. If it doesn't let you in here to this, but this is the checklist that I gave him. So you can look at it, you can edit it, you can change it, but this is just like, here's a base kind of start, right? Change it up, make it as in-depth as you want. If you have no clue, like I said, ask Chantel, is especially once you're pending and stuff, is there anything that I should be doing or not doing? You know, like the CTC service from TC. That doesn't apply, right? Unless if you're using the TC, which is the transaction coordinator, then maybe you need to order, have her order the title commitment, right? So just different things. So you can edit these. It was just something that we could find that had a starting base for you guys. But yeah, so everything on my screen dropped on me here. Everything on the agent services, it has all kinds of stuff in here for you guys to use for your business. And if there's anything that you need to know or you need to want that you want on here, just tell Austin and he'll find a way to add it. That's it. Did I bore you? We went really long. Oh gosh.
I just saw your.
No, that was super helpful.
I was just like, wait, am I supposed to be meeting with an agent right now?
I just saw you on our website. Is there something I needed to show? Did you say my name earlier?
Yeah, go ahead, share.
Oh no. Oh, well, sorry. I was busy. I was on a phone call, but I don't even know what you did, so I don't want to go over things if you already.
Nope, I went over the website.
Tanya, are you supposed to be in another meeting?
Mm-mm.
Okay, question for you. Sorry, if people want to jump, I guess they could just jump at it.
They should stay.
So I currently, to be transparent, use opportunities. I've gone in a couple times over the last year and a half to try and use that more exclusively for tracking my opportunities.
Mhm.
And certain little things had not worked for me, but everything you just showed me proves otherwise. So I think there's been, and the last time I tried it, I've been really busy. So last time I tried it was probably early summer.
Yeah.
So I currently use opportunities for basically active deals only through
Yep.
closing.
So a
I
lot of
haven't
people
been
do.
able to do it for everything before that, but I really want to be able to track my numbers and to get the data that I need. In
Yeah.
order to do that, would I sign up for your program? Is that something that you could help me do? Is that something that Austin does? How do I go about doing that to try and figure out how to incorporate those first two sections into the way that I track my business and migrate my existing
Cam, we could probably
situation?
do a one-off meeting on that. I've taught it in the classes, like I just taught today, right? Here's how you do it. But yeah, we could do a one-off meeting.
Okay,
Here-
is that something that you do, for example,
in my
through your
coaching,
program?
Yeah. The people that I coach, technically you're on a team, but you're the tech committee, so you qualify differently. Austin, you can probably quit recording. Every one of you on the call, you're individual agents. When you graduate from Chantel, you qualify for my coaching. My coaching is to make sure that you guys, Because with Chantel, you have 1-year program and she gets you to close 6 transactions, which makes you a capper, and then you move forward, right? But a lot of people kind of like go, oh my gosh, what do I do? Because you're so used to having her there side by side on everything that you need more. So when you come to me, I move you more into a business. How do we help you keep your business, build your business, and do real estate and do the tech? And then I keep you until you reach a certain amount, and then you go to if you want, you're in the top 20%, or if you're not, we adjust our time frame with you. And it all depends on how long we stay in my program. Teams don't come to my program. They don't go to Chantel's coaching. They don't go to anything, because technically your team leader, your rainmaker, is the one who is supposed to teach you what they want you to do and everything else. However, Cam is different. His dad is Dwight. Dwight's our OP and an owner of the company, and they run their team a little bit differently. And Cam is in commercial, but Cam is also our tech committee chair on the ALC. So I definitely want him to know everything, right? And to be utilizing everything. So Cam, let's do some one-offs.
Sounds good.
All right.
And then one other random question,
Yeah,
because I still have time.
because you still have time.
Yes.
And
I
nobody got
wanna
time for that. Hey,
maximize
wait, we're
this.
not recording anymore. Hold on. I can put my sign back up.
Oh, you're still recording.
Oh, Austin, I said stop recording.
Oh, well, I can trim the video later.
Turn that off. No one, I can.
You have one
Okay.
of the, like a cue card, or what do they call them? What are those
Yeah.
called? This, and then just at the beginning and at the end, so you just, that's where I know to clip it.
Do you like my sign?
So Tanya, I am